What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WDYDCSP. What do you do as a central sterile processor, guys? This is episode or series number 5 of inspection of instrumentation. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. So what are we inspecting today? Guys, today we are doing forceps, guys. So forceps. Now, I brought these guys back because guess what? These are known as forceps as well. Okay, hemostat forceps. You have a Halstead mosquito forceps, and you have a Jake's forceps or Jacobson forceps. Now, and we have these types of forceps. So why are they both called forceps? Well, these are known more commonly or by a common or layman name as thumb forceps, as we operate them with our thumbs. The closing action is actually with the thumb to put pressure. These are also operated with the thumb, but they're known commonly as ring forceps. Now, to my knowledge or to my understanding, any instrument that is operated to hold and clamp and grasp tissue that applies pressure with the thumb is considered a forceps style instrument. Now, of course, these are clamps because they have the ratchet and they have the clamping ability to clamp on the tissue. But anything that's a grasping type instrument is known as a forceps. Now, I also brought these two guys out because in our inspection, we talked about inspecting the tip, looking for bioburning and damage. So in this Jacobson style hemostat forceps, I don't know if you guys can notice in the video, but this guy has a chipped tooth. Alright, so the tip of this forceps is damaged. Okay, that is one of your inspection points. That should actually be your very first inspection point, is looking for the chip or looking for damage in the tips, alignment and damage. So that guy, he's out. This guy looks good, throughout inspection. It's clean, it has a nice smooth operation to it. But when you go to clamp it, as an experienced tech, when I go to clamp this instrument, I can tell that it's taking me a little bit of excessive force to get that to the first clamp, and it does clamp shut. But if I'm doing the proper testing, which is a tap test, you see that? Very light tap, guys. What's going on there? That instrument is no good because this instrument can be used to clamp a vessel, and then a light tap can occur and that instrument pops open. As compared to this one, which even though this is damaged, okay, the clamping action is good. All right, so this one is a reliable clamping instrument, but it's damaged, so it's no good. So both of these guys, we ain't gonna talk about them no more. Let's talk about the thumb forceps. There is a vast majority of thumb forceps, many different styles, lengths, different tissues that they're used on, etc., etc. I'm using these as an example because you'll probably run into these very, very often. The Bakey forceps and Adson forceps. Definitely the Adson you'll come across more commonly than any other forceps, identified by the shape of the actual body of the forceps. I identify them as Adsons have hips. All right, so that's the hippie instrument. The actual Adsons have different varieties. So you have an Adson tooth, Adson smooth, or Adson brown. Again, most instrumentation is identified by the jaw of the instrument. This one happens to be an Adson tooth forceps. What you want to look for, again, is any bioburden, any biofilm, any damage as far as rusting, pitting, discolorization, any bending, misalignment of the teeth. So you want to actually operate the instrument. And this one is an Adson tooth. So when you close the actual forceps, you want to make sure that the teeth align. Now, in inspecting the teeth, you want to also look for bioburden, but you want to make sure that there's actually 3 teeth in there. So this is a 2x1, as most Addison, I think all Addisons are 2x1s, Addison tooths. But if you really look at, and you can do this with the naked eye or magnification of the single tooth that goes in between the double tooth, you can tell that that's either chipped or worn down really bad from either repairs or it was chipped off. Now, I don't have my magnifiers to confirm, but I believe that is a chipped tooth on it. This Addison tooth is no good on the field. Now, I brought this variety here because this is a lesser grade Addison to this one. You may find these in your practice. They're Pakistan grade instrument compared to the German style instrument. This one happens to be a veterinary Addison. It's an Addison Smooth. If you inspected this in person, you would see the quality of the instrument of this one compared to this one, especially the weight. It just looks like something that you cut it out of a aluminum siding. You know, you just made the actual impression. You wind up cutting it out and putting it together somehow by glue or by some kind of tap soldering. So you got your jaw, you have your body, and you have the actual union of the forceps. Where this forceps is combined, you want to make sure that that soldering or that method of combining the forceps is pretty intact or pretty solid. So on this one here, if you can see in the camera, right, you have that normal gap right there, but then where the two instruments, where the two sides of the instruments combine, where it is either soldered or use of adhesive, you can see that there's still a thin crack in that where bioburden can be hidden or kind of make their way into. So this isn't a really good instrument here as compared to this one where you can barely see the union line on it. Going over to this instrument, this is the DeBakey forceps. This one's pretty beat up. There is some instrument staining going on here. I don't know if you can see the discolorization on the actual camera here, but you can see the discolorization on the inside there. That's some instrument staining. There is some discolorization in the grooves of the teeth. The bakies are identified because the actual teeth or serrations run the length of the instrument itself. So it goes with it. So this goes long way this way. Instead of the serrations going horizontal, they're going vertical or parallel with the instrument itself. The bakies have a row of single teeth on one side and 2 rows on the other that interlock. Okay, when you're putting the tips together, you want to make sure that there is good alignment and that the teeth interlock. Now, there is a question that always arises when I close the instrument softly. Should all the teeth be touching or aligned? The answer is no. Only the third of the instrument is used to grasp tissue. If any more grasping power is needed, then the surgeon will apply thumb pressure on there to give you more teeth bite, okay, or more gripping ability. But you want to make sure that it interlocks very well, that there's no damages to the serrations. So you can look at that under magnification. No bioburden hidden in there. Same thing at the very proximal end where you're operating the instrument. You want to make sure that there's no bioburden and that union is solid and almost invisible. You should just see a very slight line in there, almost invisible to the naked eye. If it's too pronounced, then it's a bad instrument. Of course, rusting, pitting, any bending of the teeth, any bending of the actual instrument, any oversized opening, so that like that, you'll see instruments shoved open like that. That's a bad thing with forceps. But those are the basic inspections and testings of forceps. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Comment down below. As always, stay true to yourselves. Keep it 100. Peace.